Welcome to Collecting Chaos Live. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about restoration. We're going to talk a little bit about repairing comics and maybe into toys a little bit. And then a little bit after that, we'll get into some other things. So let's get started. Okay. I can't have a conversation by myself. It's really difficult to do. So let's bring in my co-host, Horizon Picks.
How you doing, my man? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Darth is in the chat. Immaculate Comics is in that chat. Hey,
right.
I don't feel worthy. He's so much better than I am when it comes to the whole restoration and
okay
thing. If you haven't checked out his channel, you need to.
Immaculate Comics. All right.
Immaculate Comics. Absolutely. He's just he's given me a lot of ideas. I'll put it
nice.
that way. And he's also kind of make sure I do scientific methods on things to do things right.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely worth checking his channel out.
Everybody needs somebody to refer to, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their connections through this medium. So awesome. Absolutely.
Darth, that is the man. That is the person you should go to about your that comic you bought from Mike that you wanted me to look at, because I don't know anything about getting mold off comics, and that gentleman knows it. He knows how to do it. But it won't be free, that's for sure. But then I wouldn't do it for free either. So, which brings me up to restoration and repair. I do a lot of repair. Okay, repair. Putting a little piece of tape, and let's take a step back and think about repair. Why is there tape on comic books in the first place?
Right.
You're going to find a lot of tape on early Marvel comics from the 60s. And there's a reason for it. Back in the 60s, a fan wrote in and said, hey, my cover's falling apart. What should I do? And right. Marvel Comics, the editor at Marvel Comics said, put tape on the spine. And you find a lot of comics from Marvel that have tape on the spine for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there, because I remember back in the day, and again, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I remember getting Silver Age comics as a little boy, and seeing that there was tape. Is there, again, we could get into this, but is there better tape than others? Is there an archival type of repair?
Absolutely. There is archival tape on the market. There's a couple of different brands. I use one. It's in all the videos that I do. I'll make sure to show it on the next one that I do repair on. But the whole thing is, if you tape a little piece of a comic, you're doing a repair. If you clean a comic, that's not a repair. That's a restoration. And the difference is, a restoration is taking a comic and putting it back to what it was before.
Right.
That's restoration, or that's repair. Or no, that's not repair. That's restoration. Doing a little taping, reattaching a cover. That's just trying to make the comic last longer, and that's a repair. So all this stuff, it drives me crazy, because you've got collectors saying, "Oh no, you can't do any restoration on a comic." This will be good with cleaning a press. Well, cleaning a press is restoration. I don't care what CDC says. I don't care what CBCS says. I don't care what Overstreet says. If you're doing something to a comic to put it back to a state that it once was, it's restoration.
One of the things, Chaos, that, maybe it's definitely for another show. I know this gets into your channel and anybody.
I want to touch on toys too, the restoration and repair of toys.
Really my thing. Yeah. But I was going to send you a picture today. I did bust out the dry mount press.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have it. I know that there's some, I believe you said some silicone sheets I need to get.
Yeah.
To do the hot.
If you can't get the silicone sheets,
Right.
go get some baking parchment.
Okay, I have that. Yeah, I
Because you can use that too. And what you're trying to do is keep the comic cover from sticking to the
right, just kind of adhering to the press itself.
It'll adhere to the press.
But yeah, I have it. I bought it. I've done some t-shirt work with some of that. But I would like to use it and give it a go. I know I have some comics. I'm sure I can maybe raise a little bit of the grade.
What type of press do you have?
It's a dry mount press. I don't remember the name.
Is it a clamshell or is it?
It's a lockdown. It basically like almost like
it closes like this.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a clamshell.
Yeah, and it's total. I know it works. I got it a few years back. It's literally just been in my garage, but in light of meeting you and now being more,
that is the press that I use. That's the type of press I use.
Awesome. So I'd like to maybe down the line, maybe this summer, as I begin to get acclimated, maybe I can, as a student of it, be able to come back and go, hey, look at this. Like, look at what you know.
I would stay. I don't like using that for newer comics though.
Right.
Because it's harder to control the heat, and for the newer comics, it's better to have heat on both sides.
Right.
And the type of press we have, it only has heat on the top. Now, Immaculate Comics, I think his website's down right now, but he does sell metal so that you can heat the bottom also.
Nice.
Pieces of metal for that. So check out his site when it's back up. He's doing a lot of renovations to it.
So we have, I see in the chat, we have the usual suspects. Darth, good to see you, Darth.
Cam's here.
Todd,
Kiki's here.
Yeah, Kiki. Cam is here. Awesome, my man. Yes, I'm rummaging a little bit. I have an auction on Saturday night that I've been promoting, so moving some stuff around. Mr. Ernie is taking a nap. He's right there. He's under this shirt.
But
yeah. So
this is important, and I'm going to tell you why. The fulcrum press, this is what we've got. If you're not careful, when you close it, that comic will slide, and it'll slide right out from underneath your protection. The spring press comes straight down.
Okay.
And when I get another press, that's what I'm going to get.
So more of like a vise.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can control the pressure that way easier. And those types are better for doing newer comics.
Right. What's up, Titan Nick? Good to see you, brother. And Immaculate, thanks for coming. Good to see you. His
site will be back up on June 5th.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
He's the comic scientist.
I saw, I think it was last night, Chaos, in Mike's chat, people asking you, hey, thanks for recommending, I believe it was some kind of solvent to clean comics.
No, it's Absorbing. Basically, I did a video on how to use it. Now how to use it to clean comics.
Cool.
And apparently people are getting a lot better results than I usually do with it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to have in this medium put something out there and people run with it, and maybe they'll do a job that you're like, wow, I didn't, it is interesting how folks follow along with what you're doing, and I think it's it's humbling. Like, I text you, by the way, shout out to my boys, we won trivia night, we did win, age out of Menudo, but it is our team, awesome. But yeah, 3 people this week asked me, Roy, are you doing trivia? And I said, yes, I am. So we did win this week. I do that right before Thursday. It's
time to bring in the third wheel to our conversation.
Sure.
Because I always like an additional view. And my view is very overbearing when it comes to restoration and repair. So let's bring in our third member.
Sure.
Patrick.
Hey, there he is. Oh, man.
Welcome, Patrick.
Well, thank you for having me.
And of course, you know what the topic is. It's restoration and repair of comics. And in particular, the feeling, how do you feel about that? Do you think it's appropriate for the repairs or restoration? Do you think that pressing comics is a type of restoration? Do you think cleaning a comic is a type of restoration?
I don't know.
I guess too, Patrick, too, with respect to toys, right? I know, we're kind of talking.
And toys also. I mean, repair of toys.
I've definitely.
Okay, then yes.
I've definitely glued the blister, the bubble back on. I've done that before. How does that kind of rank in your mind as far as, a repair versus,
For a toy.
Okay, I got something at this show. Let's see if where is she at? I think she might be behind the door. I'm gonna give you Avatar, Murphy.
He's gonna go grab her. That's all good. Examples are good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all right. Yeah.
Now here's an interesting thing. A repair on a toy, in my thought, is when you're actually taking a toy that's broken and making it so it can be played with again, or so that it can be displayed.
Right.
That's a repair. Restoration is when you try to make it look new, when you try to make it look new on a card. So to glue a bubble back on is kind of a restoration.
Yeah, I mean, I always try to weigh, like, how is this so far gone that I'm going to, and this gets into the decision making, right? Of like, right, chaos with comics, like you said, the value, so it's like, if it's completely off, but it's still a mint toy, can I kind of make that happen again and have it be somewhat seamless to maybe raise the perception of value back to where it may be? That's. Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh no, she's downstairs, so I will have to save that for another time, a little show and tell. But
Right.
I mean, I can only speak from my experience from toys, and I apologize that I'm not more versed in the restoration of comics. I've just started watching your channel, Chaos, as far as what you do, as far as I don't think it takes away from it, because I'd be a hypocrite if I said yes, it does, when I do the same with toys, like maybe fix them, especially G.I. Joe. I mean, let's face it, your original Joes are the not the original 60s Joes.
The 3 3/4?
Yeah, the 3 3/4, the one with the O-rings. I mean, those things need replaced because they just wear out over time. So I don't see any difference of, fixing a Joe as opposed to fixing a comic.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's replacing the O-rings. They've been doing that ever since the first G.I. Joes came out in 1989, and somebody broke one. So that's something that's standard. Mm-hmm. And now Immaculate Comics brings up there's subtractive restoration and additive restoration. Subtractive restoration, deacidification of a comic would be a subtractive restoration, I believe. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. Additive restoration, it would be replacing parts of a comic. You've got a piece missing out of it, so you either add the piece in or you add a blank piece in and have it repainted in there.
Now, my day gig, if you will.
Subtractive restoration, that is when you're cleaning a comic, it's basically subtractive because you're taking the dirt off.
Right.
But it's still my point is it's still restoration. It's just not as considered as bad as when you add something to it.
Yeah.
Pressing a comic is subtractive because you're removing wrinkles or creases. You can't really remove a color breaking crease, but you can remove dimples and things like that. And that's subtractive.
I'll just raise in the chat here, Todd Rezak, good to see you, man. He raises a very again, this is a CGC question directed, I'm assuming, to you, Chaos. Does CGC consider cleaning a color moderation for grading purposes? At what point does CGC take notice and give it a purple? So they've actually, I believe that's the restoration grade. And then he says, I've seen some guys who cleaned his comic and got it back and it was purple. It went up a 0.5 grade, but then it wasn't green anymore.
Yeah, that they took it too far. They actually started taking the ink off of it. And yeah, but it shouldn't be purple. I mean, I don't understand what CGC does.
Yeah, some of that stuff is, do we really even know? I guess you'd have to really.
But when you're cleaning a comic, you got to be careful. You got to make sure. You got to try to make sure you're not taking any of the color off of it. It's like washing a toy. I mean, you wash a toy to get the dirt off, but you don't wash it so much that you take off the paint, unless you're going to repaint it.
Oh, it's beautiful, cat. Look at that kitty. He's beautiful. That's Rainbow, right?
That's Rainbow Kitty Cat, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
Rainbow in the house. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to toys, you know, especially when I will do a whole show on Mego, and we could get into restoration on that. But yeah, you're dealing with a 1970s toy. It's super delicate. How do you kind of make these decisions and really, what are you going to get out of it? What's your goal? Do you want to actually resell it, or do you want to display it and have it just kind of look okay? You kind of, you're kind of weighing that with some of those toys. And then it's like, what are you replacing it with? Is it, if you replace the pin, is it the exact same pin? Is it a little piece of widget plastic you're putting in there? So then you're not dealing with all, people that do like car restorations, right? Yeah. Are you going to do
like I said, if you're using the exact same thing,
right,
you're restoring.
If
you're just using something to get it in there and hold it together, that's a repair.
Repair, yeah.
Well, my day gig is I work on cellular devices, mainly iPhones, right? And you guys can hear me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yep.
Sometimes he jumps in the lap and hits buttons or knocks the cable out. So, but now what we do is we will take...
Amen to this comment.
He doesn't understand what CGC does. But now what we do, we'll take a broken device. We'll put a new screen, a new charging port, a new speaker. We'll make the device work and presentable to resell. But here's the stipulation. We have to disclose that it's a refurbished device, meaning, hey, we took it in broken, we did something to it, now we're reselling it. So I don't know the legalities that go involved in obviously everything, but I know what we do, that's how we have to present it, as a refurbished device. So, and Horizon kind of hit on it there. It's like, what's the end goal here? Are you restoring to sell? Or are you restoring to display? And I guess if you're restoring to sell, then at least for me and my integrity of being a seller, I would put full disclosure. Hey, this is a restored piece, whether it be comic or toy. Maybe put a little bit of a description. And then of course I always put in all my auctions, if you got any more questions or you want any additional pictures, please contact me. So
yeah,
on everything I work on, and 99.9% of it is going to stay in my collection, except when I make a mistake or I sell it on purpose. Like those 2 Star Wars comics, I sold them on purpose.
Right.
And I knew I was going to sell them when I first started it. And that's why I have a little certificate that goes with it that says that this is what I did to it, and this is how it was done, and this is when it was done, and you can watch it here.
Oh, wow. Wow, you went that far. That's awesome.
He gives a little card, Patrick, where you get a Chaos repair card with your. It's very slick. I think that's a nice.
No, that's awesome.
Now that's not something I plan on doing. I mean, it's just with that one, that was a one-off thing that I wanted to do. Now,
Right.
I accidentally sold another one, and I haven't sent it out yet, and I am going to include, as soon as I can remember which video I did it in, I'm going to reference the video and what I did to it.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, being upfront and honest, and then
Yeah.
let them make the decision from there. You know, I kind of rolling back to the Mego thing. I had a '74 Hulk Mego, right, and he was broken. Something had chewed on his leg, and I listed it on the FeeBay. But I mean, I took pictures. I said, hey, you know, broken Hulk. I listed it at 4 parts, right? Because I do know that there's people out there that do exactly that. They take them, they restore them. So, and this was really, really cool. I just want to share this real quick and I'll shut up. When I sent the package out, I put a note: Hulk hurt, fix Hulk so Hulk could smash, right? I didn't expect anything, you know, and the guy actually, he sent me pictures of the restored Hulk with my note and said Hulk ready to smash. And that was a really cool transaction. You know, it's like, wow, I mean, he didn't have to do that, you know, but that was really cool.
Yeah. You know, I remember sitting, you know, back in the day, and I haven't done it in a while, but I could, you know, sitting there watching, I'd watch whatever, 2 movies back to back, and I would just be sitting there with my trough of Mego parts. And by the end of those 2 movies, I'd have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you know, some Planet of the Apes, all put back together. And then I would like have their bodies all done, and then I'd be like, "Ooh, okay." And then I would be piecing back together the costumes. And yeah, Joker said yes. The old kind of like leotard, you know, costumes do disintegrate. But again, I would be going in there. I can sew, not great, but I could sit there and really slowly mend that. And again, putting it up on the FeeBay, as long as you take these, just like anything else, right, Chaos? You go in, you be straight up what I did, how I did it. Here's the pictures. And you know what? I almost never didn't sell one because I'm giving it also at a bargain price.
Yeah.
But somebody wants that. They're not going to pony, like, honestly, like a Batman that's like complete. I haven't even checked. Back in the day, it was like a good $50, but I would do one that I repaired. I'd go for 35, and it would almost always sell.
Yep.
Almost always.
Yep.
You know, come on, Rainbow.
That's the whole thing, and being open with it. And like I said, I don't repair comics for other people.
Right.
I do it for myself. Sometimes one will slip out because I'll be busy doing something. But the stickers I put on my comics have, whether it's been repaired, whether it's been cleaned, whether, you know, anything I've done to it, it's on there. Because I won't always remember that I've done something.
Yeah, I mean, even you guys probably, I know Chaos saw, I had some, just like Chaos has stacks behind him, I had some stacks here with comics, and it did take me a couple nights, just again, I'm watching streams and doing my thing, slowly but surely going through, looking at the conditions and just bagging and boarding and back, and now I'm ready to like have kind of an arsenal here, no different than the Mego, just kind of like knocking out assembly line, putting in that time to like get there, you know. So, yeah. How you doing, Dina? Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. I figured one of us should say hi to her.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam is saying the bar is set too high now. We need to see another comic getting ripped Incredible Hulk style by Chaos.
For those of you that missed it, I was trying to sell a Beast comic for a couple of weeks, and I even paired it up with the Beast toy and got no interest at all. And here's that Beast comic because I ripped it in half. Now, I wouldn't have done that if it was the only one I had, obviously.
I almost bid on that, by the way, but I have that Beast, so it's not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was considering doing a few of those last night as well, and be like, but again, I think on Mike's it's like comics. Everyone's just focused on the comics,
Well,
You know.
it's. I don't think that's a good venue for toys.
Yeah, it's just so yeah. I mean, and that's one of the things that obviously guys in the chat, and then I've talked with both of you guys kind of as we're getting into the summer, and I think we can offer some interesting entertainment here, and we're clearly leading into some selling, some auction related, whether it's on my channel or Chaos or both, trying to drum up this interest and then get to a point where we can begin selling some stuff and having that be an option as well, so I guess
that was a specialty toy, Darth. That wasn't like a Toy Biz figure that everybody has 4 million of.
Yeah.
But did you see what I did to the shelf here? One shelf is almost all toys now.
Yeah. Always a fan of have some goodies. Like Patrick's got some behind him. He's got some stacks. It's all good, man. Always, yeah.
Well, that's from the Tuesday show. They just haven't been
put away yet.
I put mine away yesterday. I was like, oh, back on the peg. Just put them in there.
Yeah, this is great, guys.
Yeah, man. Darth did. Yeah, Darth had, I believe it was like the armored Spider-Man, and then he had the toy and then the comic. I think someone popped on that right away.
Oh, I'm sure if I took one of the Mego style Toy Biz figures and put it with the comic that shows that figure, it would go pretty quick.
Right.
But I don't know that I want to do that right now.
No, I get you. Here, I'll even show you. Here, I could show. I took an awesome photo. Oh man, that's kind of crazy. Speaking of toys, wow, somebody just sold Patrick. G1 Optimus Prime. He's got on his feed. Old school flips, Jimmy. But here, see if I could show. I put this up right before we went live. It's kind of hard. Here we go. Oh, here. So for a little harken back.
Yep.
Nice.
You can see, there he is. Oh, it's the Max and the comic.
Yeah, there you go.
I just put that up right before we went live to drum up a little interest. Who knows? I was like, yeah, it's awesome. So, gotta love that. So, yeah.
Now, we all get toys, or we all get comics graded, but I understand you can get toys graded also.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that yet.
I'm going to be the odd man out. I have not had any comics graded, nor have I had any toys graded. So
yeah,
I'm just that third wheel, man. I guess I'm like just in the back hanging out, just along for the ride. That's all I am.
Well, here's the thing. I have some graded comics, but I've never sent a comic in to be graded.
Right, but you have, but I think, Patrick, you bring that third option of just interest, because I know you have comics and you have toys, and this is you're that in between, which is good, to be able to have. And I don't have any graded toys. I've sold them before. I don't own any currently. That's kind of a somewhat subjective. I mean, just like comics, I don't, people have said I don't know your thoughts, Chaos, on who's really doing this. You know what I mean? How does that really work?
And the after show yesterday when we're talking, or last night when we were talking, or I should say this morning, because it was about 5 a.m.
Wow.
And they're talking about, you need to send your comics in. No. Why do I need the comic book in to be graded?
Yeah.
When I have more grading experience than CGC and CBCS put together.
Yeah, sure.
Because I've been grading comics for 50 years.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been doing the YouTube in the last month or two, and I go on Instagram, and there's, a lot of comic guys. Oh, I just got this collection, and they're showing some, books. And I remember the one guy, he had the original. I don't. Is it Pacific? I can't remember. It's the Evil Ernie #1, the original first one.
Yeah.
Which is fairly desirable, but he had it. I'm interested in it. And he's basically quoting me based on what he might get if he slabbed it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just can't get into that rationale, but I get it. I think it's just kind of like you're basically like looking at this with maybe somewhat of a skewed lens. I guess that's the only way I could look at that.
So here's my point of view. I'm pretty harsh when it comes to grading.
Sure.
So if I say something's a 9.4, that's the minimum grade you're going to get. Chances are it might go 9.6, and maybe even a 9.8. If I say it's a 9.0, it's probably going to be a 9.2 or a 9.4.
Right.
Because CGC is a lot more relaxed on their grading. Now, if you send it to CBCS, they go more along the same standards that I do, with some exceptions, and you'll probably get a similar grade to what I would give them.
Right. Yeah, I think Darth makes a point. I'm a reader. You get slabs only if you're flipping books, and
Oh no, Darth! They make the best sandwich serving trays you have ever seen.
Hey, here's your sandwiches on a Spider-Man black costume. But I think even like we saw it did. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chaos. It was an interesting example. I believe it was last night. Frugal Frank had Spider-Man 252, first black costume. I don't even believe he sold it. If he did, correct?
Yeah, he did. He did buy it now. He or claim for 150, I think it was.
Did he sell it for that?
Yeah.
Oh dang! I'm mad then because oh wow. All right, whatever. That's unfortunate because I would have thrown down whatever 2 bills, but
I was seriously considering it, but
the whole thing was everyone was focused on what it could be if it got certified.
Yeah. Don't focus on what it could be. Focus on what it is.
Wow, 150. That was a steal and a half. Wow.
Well,
but
and
hey.
I mean, you guys kind of hit on a point there. It's like, yeah, there are some things I think you pick up along the way for investing, but I mean, just like the stock market, it's nobody can time that,
Right.
You can actually time comics easier than you can time stocks.
I'll agree with that
because I have something, and toys also.
Yeah.
Because I have something called the 30-year rule. 30 years from now, whatever toy is hot will be hot again.
Okay.
Because those people that couldn't afford to buy it, or their parents wouldn't get it for them, now have the disposable income to buy it.
And you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Inspiring words by Kollecting Kaos.
That's right.
And that, Patrick, is why you're here. Well, no, that and you've got some knowledge too. You just don't realize it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, by the way,
and an incredible McFarlane collection.
Yeah.
Too many damage. Oh,
yeah, I noticed the Death of Superman T-shirt. Mine's put away in plastic. I wore it out.
I'm going with my, Hawaiian shirt fun. I was going to throw on the Galactus shirt that I had on last night, but I was like, I just came right from the trivia night. No, that's an awesome shirt. I actually had that at one point, Patrick. Yeah, Death of Superman.
It's not an official one. So it's a total cheap knockoff because it's like, you know what? This is actually my third one now because I wear through them because I constantly wear them. I love them. In fact, my girlfriend, what was really cool is she took one of them and because
the bleeding S.
Yeah, the bleeding, it just faded and the black got all, and then you start getting the little, I think they're called though I call them the fuzzies. I know there's an actual technical sewing term for them, but she took and she cut it out and she made like a pillow wrap out of it. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get these because I know they're disposable, because I want to wear them. I want to, kind of on the topic, I wouldn't sell this shirt or try to fix this shirt to resell because I know it's going to eventually just fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know I do a lot of t-shirts. I like that. I probably have an arsenal of probably 75 of my own t-shirts, some of which I rotate in, I sell them, some of them on live auction. It just depends, right? But it is interesting to be like, oh, I'll put this in my collection. It is that kind of fun. I enjoy that.
What I'm waiting for is for Horizon Picks to decide to sell the T-shirt he's wearing, and then he changes shirts, he brings it, and somebody wants to buy it, but they want it autographed.
Autographed?
Not out of the realm. I mean, I have had people ask me to take it off and buy it. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But, in terms of just, I mean, I think Kiki bought one. I had worn the McFarlane shirt, and I'm like, you want another one for $5? And I think she bought it. And I was like, here you go. No problem,
All right,
Whatever.
ladies. You can now
Bye,
have
Gracie.
a Horizon Picks shirt autographed, and he's not even going to wash it, so it'll smell just like it. Right off his back into the Ziploc bag, right to
Scent
you.
of Horizon. Hey,
We're gonna
whatever. I don't. If somebody wants that, and it's like I say, like, go get it. Then that's fine with me. It's all
sorry,
good.
I didn't mean to.
That's fine.
I couldn't pass it
You
off.
have to interject some humor once in a while.
Yeah.
But
What's up, Gracie Dandoff? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, there she is too. It's such a deal. Thanks, Kiki. Hey, it's like, I got another one. Here you go. Boom. It's all good. That's why I buy stuff in bulk, Hi, Lily. Good to see you, Lily. Oh, man, my OnlyFans page in the works. Just a matter of time. No worries.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's funny.
we've got there's just so much to think about when you start deciding to repair, and a lot of people are interested in doing repairs, obviously, because that's what those videos that I make on repairing comics actually get more views than the rest.
Right.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, because people are searching for.
They're interested in how to do it,
Okay.
and how to learn to clean, and how they want to know how to do this stuff.
Well,
But the most important thing is to know when to stop,
right.
and what not to even try to do. Just to put it on the shelf because you're not good enough to do that yet.
Well, let me ask you, because I mean, and I apologize, I've only seen a few of the kind of restores, the one where you put the cover back on.
Right.
Now, when you get into, say, like, well, I'm just off the top of my head, the original Dark Knight Returns, it was a four issue, but it wasn't a stapled, it was a glued book.
It's a square bound.
Okay. See, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Actually,
What kind of process? I mean, can those be restored?
yes.
Okay.
They
Cool.
can be repaired, and you would use the same methods that you do for repairing a paperback book.
Okay.
You can actually put a page back into it. If a page is coming out, you can put it back into it. You use usually a white glue. You very carefully, probably with maybe a cotton bud or something, put the glue along the top, insert it back in, and shut it and make sure it's even. Not the easiest thing to do in the world, but that's the best way to do it. There's
Gotcha.
another way. If the cover is coming off, you can actually remove all of the pieces of the cover, repair them, press them down, and then put them back on the comic and glue it back on the comic. Very, very difficult to do. I haven't attempted it yet, but I do know how because I know how to repair paperback books.
Yeah, I guess a question that is similarly in that I have a lot of questions actually with respect to comics, but I
Thank you,
buy.
Joker Jack. I appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. He definitely watches for sure. One of the questions that I've shared with you, Chaos, when I go, like, say, out to the flea market and I'm buying bulk comics that aren't even kind of bagged and boarded. So I'm going through and I'm literally picking the most choice conditions that I can, but almost always because they haven't been bagged and boarded, they're stacked. You have this very slight little, not a spine roll, but just this little whoop on the end by where now is that something that's like, is it a big deal? When you get it into the bag and board it, you almost don't notice it. But if you were to hold it, you just you just have a little whoop. Is that a big deal? Is that something
If you
that's
just put it in a like, that's not so much with poly bags because they're more supple, but like a Mylite that's a little stiffer.
right?
If you put it in like a Mylite 4, which is 4 mils thick,
Sure.
put that in there with a half back or a full back board, and just put it in your collection. The next time you look at that book, you probably won't be able to see it at all.
So it's going to kind of push it down and
Yes.
set it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a similar. You could also cold press it.
Okay.
And cold pressing is basically you put a heavy weight on it and walk away for a week or two.
Gotcha. What's up, Patrick?
Got a question for those in the chat and even myself, and I apologize for maybe not knowing this as much as I should. So I know if I don't know it as much as I should, there's probably people in the chat that completely don't understand it. What does Mylite mean?
Mylite, it's a Mylite is the E. Gerber brand for a Mylar sleeve. And Mylar, of course, is made from Mylar D. And he was the first, E. Gerber was the first to do it, to make Mylars.
So, but that's the bag that you're using to put the comic. Yeah. Okay. Just trying to piece it together for the.
And it's archival. I mean,
you're talking archival level storage supplies that Chaos. Where do you give a little backstory on kind of value and when you begin to offer that or use that?
Yeah, well, for me, all of my comics eventually are going to be in Mylite or in Mylar of some sort, and that's just because I'll never have to change them again. And I got tired of changing bags and boards. It's you change them once, if you have a moderate sized collection of 1,000 or less, it's no big deal. You change your bags and boards, you do that in 2 afternoons, no big deal.
Right.
But when you have 21,000 comics, nah, do it once, do it right, get it done, get it over with. If it's good enough for the Smithsonian and the Library of Congress, it's good enough for me.
Yep. Yeah. I do. I can appreciate last night. I know he's not. I don't think he's here. I don't know if Mike's doing anything tonight, but Diecast-omics. If you saw Chaos, he definitely had some nice quality materials that he was using. I thought that was very impressive with some of the stuff he was selling, and clearly
he's been watching my videos, and he's
yes, he told me.
He's getting some of those ideas from me.
Nice, Chris.
Now, for the average person, if you're happy with the poly bags, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, just be aware that you're going to have to change them. Yeah. Because they start to yellow. Yes, they start to get wrinkles. They just start to look bad, and they start to stink.
Yep.
And if they're really old, they'll get sticky.
Yep. Yeah, I've bought some short or long boxes at flea market or whatever, and then when I hear that shik as I'm pulling, they're literally like coming apart. I'm like, oh boy, because then I know And I will. I hate to say it. I'll use that and be like, wow, these have been stored where and for how long? Okay. Because I know I'm going to have to switch all that out. There is no reusing. It's going right in the garbage. Yep. And I'm redoing all those. Like, so again, what you guys see here, a lot of this is, you know, new stock from stuff that I got. And again, I'm not using the MyLite higher end, but I expect to be able to unload this entire table by the end of the summer, hopefully. So we'll see.
Now there's a new type of sleeve that's a poly. It's a polymer. It's like the poly bag, but it's thicker and it's more like the MyLite or the Mylar sleeve, and that works fine too. That's also archived. Right. And poly bags is really bad to say it because there's two different types. There's polyethylene and polypropylene.
Right.
And they both need to be changed. They're archival also, but they just have to. They need more care.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always when I go and when I buy pickups, you've seen Chaos to get some decent books for really cheap, but then I get it, I'm like, like I get it. I know I'm like, this is in like the worst possible. At least it's in some kind of bag. A lot of times they're like Ziploc bags that are, you know, for food or whatever. And
don't knock Ziploc bags. I've got some beautiful comics out of Ziploc bags before.
No, I get you, but I get it. And I'm like, oh no, you got to go in here. And yeah, the MyLite, there is a really nice, there's something very visual, and it can actually improve the look of the comic through.
Every comic looks better in Mylar.
Yeah, it just does.
Well, except for the new Captain Marvel, you can't do anything with those.
So
it's still Captain Marvel.
There's no.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean? Let's roll back to what you just said there.
The new Captain Marvel, not Marvel.
Okay, because I mean, Marvel and Adam Warlock and Thanos, that was kind of Jim Starlin's staple. You know, that he was kind of like the guy who brought what the mainstream loves now, and he gets poopy credit. He gets a little cameo saying, and I need to stop.
the original Marvel Captain Marvel, is one of my all-time favorite heroes. I have most of those comics.
Oh yeah.
There's a Marvel Legend of him out, and I didn't know this till like about 3 weeks ago, and it's like, do I? Because
so yeah, just I'm gonna refill my Java. But Nick, good to see you, Nick. Here, Chaos. We talked about how often should you swap your normal bags and boards?
Polyethylene bags, 10 years. Polypropylene, 3 to 5 years.
So now the Mylar, is it? I get that it's heavier. Now, is that what they use for slabs or no? What do they use for slabs?
Those are specially made.
Okay. So
now they might use Mylar for the inner sleeve, or they might use the new poly sleeves. I don't know because there's two sleeves. There's an inner sleeve that completely seals the comic, which to me is the stupidest thing in the world because comics are paper and paper needs to breathe. And then they encapsulate that further into that hard plastic case. Well, the hard plastic case, there's nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, the one good thing about CGC and CBCS both is they have the only protection against UV, against ultraviolet light. Now, it's not 100%, of course, but they give some protection, whereas any other bag or board or sleeve does not give any. It's polyester? Okay.
now, so do the Mylar bags, I guess, can you buy those like you buy the poly bags? Like I remember buying like, I think a bag of, and I do remember there was the two different kind. There was like the red bag and then the purple bag. Do you buy, oh, well, there. All right.
And if you only want to get like 50 or 100, just buy them on eBay.
I mean, is the price point, I guess, because like, what was it, like pennies to dimes with a poly? What are we talking as far as like a Mylar bag? Like,
In the
50.
quantities that I normally buy, you're looking at 40 to 50 cents a piece
Okay, yeah.
for the bag and the board.
Okay, so you get bag and board?
But I use the halfback bag or boards. Now, what a halfback board or a halfback board is, it's one half of the thickness of a full back.
Mhm.
Now, these are totally impregnated. They're 100% archival, 100% acid free, unlike your normal bag or your normal board. This is just a regular old backing board. It's coated. It's not 100%. Compare it to a halfback, and of course you won't be able to see it, but this is much thicker than this. You see this? How flimsy it is?
Right.
This is a little flimsy, but not as bad. Now, I have fullbacks for the older comics. And these are twice as thick as the halfbacks. And again, not nearly as flimsy.
Yeah, I just when I buy bulk, I mean, I'm going on Amazon and I'm just getting the, like, I think it's like BCG Silver Age with the bags, and I think they're $23 for 100, and I buy them in bulk. Sometimes I buy 50, sometimes I buy 100, and then it's just, but yeah, they're not A game stuff like he's talking about, but to me it's like good enough, because again, I'm kind of, you've seen, Patrick, some of these stacks that were selling off at auction, and it just kind of,
Exactly. This is my whole point right here. If you get to be old, you get tired of swapping bags. Boy, did I get tired of swapping bags.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I definitely need to do it with some of my Silver Age, and I'm like, oh, and that'll be a weekend project. I know I have like Tales of Suspense and even some of my Amazing Spider-Man. I definitely need to swap.
Okay,
So
we're looking at 40 to 50 cents a piece for the MyLite with a backing board, with a halfback board.
yeah. Lily's like, they're the McDonald's of sleeves.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. The guy you sell your books to will change them.
This is a lot of great information being thrown down here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, and this is kind of cool because, like you said earlier, it's like, yeah, I got this stuff, but I'm not into what you guys do. Let me raise you up.
Now see, this is exactly what I was talking about. The Mylar, for all intents and purposes, if I put a Mylar in a bag, or if I put a comic in a Mylar when a child is born, by the time that child is an old man and dies, the Mylar will still be good.
Sure.
I said polyethylene. You should change your polyethylene bags at least every 10 years. Polypropylene, 3 to 5 years. Yep. Again, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I certainly hope that I can move the stuff that's in the cheaper storage stuff within that time frame and just get it out,
and maybe this relates, and I don't know if it does or not, but I pulled out a binder of Marvel cards that I had, some of the old Skybox, the 91s, and the pages were just stuck together. So I guess that's kind of along the same line of the bags.
Absolutely.
Now, degrading. It's starting to degrade.
I guess that affects the card on the inside there too. That'd be my best guess. You don't have it, you don't see it. So I don't know.
It'd be something where, again, if it was like, for me, I've gotten it where I've gotten some pages of some really killer. Yeah, those are great.
I use these for cards.
The single loaders. Yeah, but I've gotten some binders of Pokemon cards that are really good money, but then, they're sticking, and I won't even touch it. I'll then go and, like, Chaos, I'll get that stack of the good singles, and I'll sit there, just no different, just sit there and gingerly, one by one, take them researching, taking the best ones out, and just being like, whoa, whoa, and just doing them singly.
Oh, when I take it out of a 9-pocket sleeve, I just slip the edge of the 9-pocket sleeve.
Wow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I'm not going to reuse them.
You know, kind of on the same subject of, man, no, it's not on the same subject, but since you mentioned Pokemon, fake Pokemon packs.
Yeah.
I know they're out there. Is there a place that you can, how do you get those things verified, I guess is the question I'm asking here, without opening the pack?
How do you what? What was the question?
How do you get those things verified without opening a pack, if there is a way?
Wow.
There are companies that will grade packs, and there are companies that will certify a box, an unopened box.
Yeah,
Okay.
they will. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's going to be a pretty penny. And again, it's like, I don't know. I put up some Pokemon cards to list, and then I got called a scammer, and it's like, hold on. So I took the listing down because that's not, again, it's you know, my store, and it's like, I want to sell with integrity. So if there's a question about this, I want to have the knowledge base to say, no, these are real. And then if they're not, then it's like, all right, here you go, kid.
Yeah, I think that it's just like anything else on the eBay, right? I mean, you know, people will put up whatever purses or watches and say, oh, you know, knowing the product, at least you are cognizant that there are fakes. At least you know that. There are people I know that are just like wild, wild west, like, oh, says, you know, it says Louis Vuitton, must be great. Let's list this. Well, hate to break it to you, you know, Coach, Louis Vuitton. I mean, anything like that, you're going to get fakes and some really good ones. And with Pokemon, there's lots of documentation of, you know, what's fake, what's not, how to look for it. But there's some subtle, you know, good ones out there. So it is hard to know. And no one's an expert, but I think it's, at least if you're cognizant and you're trying to give your best guess to cover yourself, that's for the best you can do. I mean, taking it down, at least you took it down. That's awesome. I know people that they know it's fake and they continue to list it. And to me, that's just an ethical thing. And
Right. I mean, I want to sell with integrity, you know, and I mean, and it kind of rolls back to kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the repairing of a book. It's like, you know, if I had something repaired, I think the original question is it. Why don't we repeat the original question so I make sure I'm on the same page?
Basically, what do you think about restoration? What do you think about repair?
Well, so I agree with it. I'm not against it. But again, if I was going to go list that to sell, I would be upfront and say, hey, look, da 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 da. Like I listed a Sergeant Slaughter action figure just last night, and I haven't done any work on him. His joints are super tight, a little bit of a paint, and again, I take pictures, but I do my best to describe it because again, I don't do like the videos of whatever, but it's like O-ring, slight play in O-ring. So it's not like super loose where it's like you could just take it and he just starts like going back and forth. But you could tell there's a little play. I mean, it's a 34 plus year old figure. Okay, so it's like, yeah, that O-ring is not, you know, it's not factory new. But I put that in that auction. So
yeah, the problem with this, Lily, is that every Magic card ever made has a copyright date on it. And you can easily tell that it's not an original because of the copyright date.
Yeah. I know that I've always, with the G.I. Joes, right? Yeah, the little rubber O-ring that holds them together can be shot, and obviously the legs fall off, they become pieces.
Yeah, I buy those O-rings by the thousand.
Yeah, and I can go in and gently replace that, or I've used, regular rubber band, which isn't the best, but I've done it, and I'll just say I repaired this, and it still sells. And whether a year from now the legs fall, it's like I put it out there, and what are you gonna do? It's like
What I'm waiting for is the Immaculate Comics Mylar sleeves. And when those come out, I'll start replacing more of my stuff with his stuff rather than
cool.
Gerber's.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Sponsored by, right?
Sponsored by.
That's awesome.
There you go. That'd be a good. Hey, that's some sponsorship opportunity right there.
He's a friend. I would never.
No, I'm just playing. But again, I've always stressed that the partnerships are huge on here. So the ability to have a product that somebody has that lends itself to different things. And again, if we're doing auctions, if we're connecting with other comic people, hey, that's awesome. It's win-win.
Right.
So.
Right. Kind of rolling back to the rubber band thing. You know what? 8-year-old me was not ashamed to put rubber bands in a Cobra figure so he could get back on the battle line. Now, kind of a side note, this is what I did. And I think I mentioned this on the toy show or one of the shows that I've been on with you gentlemen. I used to take battle armored Cobra Commander, and then I would take Monkey Wrench's head, and I would put that on there because Monkey Wrench was the dreadnought with the glasses. And then I colored his hair black so I could get that Cobra Commander used salesman look. I loved that.
Be right back.
Okay. Sure. I love that. And to this day, it's like I still have my original battle armor Cobra Commander. He is a part. His O-ring gave up.
Sure.
But I don't have my Monkey Wrench head, or else I would do that again, and just that'd be something I'd collect for myself. You've seen my I don't have that display case anymore, but you've seen my
I know you have a lot of collectibles, but the thing even with repair and restoring, the interchangeability factor is kind of fun. So it lends itself to that custom. I think before you came on, Pat, we were saying with customs, even with Mego, creating a custom character that didn't exist is awesome.
This is a hit and run figure.
Yeah. He's like the camo guy, right?
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Now, here's what I have on the back. Now, because I have a lot of writing on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Hit and Run Hasbro 1988 Series 7 G.I. Joe carded, and that gives you the information on the original. Accessories: black Colt 9mm submachine gun, a green knife, a 2-piece black duffel bag, a black grappling hook connected by a black string rope to a black crank. The Target exclusive also came with a green backpack and a working parachute. O-ring replaced October 2020.
Awesome.
So not only do they get a little information on the figure, and of course he's missing all that stuff, but they know number one, the O-ring was replaced and when it was replaced, so they have an idea when it needs to be replaced again.
That's awesome.
And I do that with every G.I. Joe that I replace them on.
I remember sitting there, using my, needle nose pliers and trying to just gingerly, get that to work, and then be like, oh, I got it. And then you can kind of pop the screw back on and do it. And, the very, very delicate, but again, obviously, I know that there are little pieces you could get to hold it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I have some comics that have been in poly bags for over 30 years, and they're very well protected. As a matter of fact, the Wolverines that I sold last night were originally in 30-year-old poly bags.
Mm-hmm.
They were wrinkly, yellow, nasty looking, but those comics were gorgeous.
Absolutely.
So it'll protect it, but you wouldn't want to show your friends. And the ones I worry about are the ones where it actually starts getting sticky or getting stinky, or it feels slimy on your hands, and those are the ones I start worrying about.
Ew.
Yeah,
Right.
they're bags. Some of the bags will do that over time.
Wow,
Yeah,
I've never
the
experienced that.
plastic is literally degrading, so you're kind of it's breaking itself down. So you're starting to get this. Yeah,
I mean,
Uh,
I've had sticky, especially like those one the binder I was talking about, but I haven't had it like actually like slime. Ooh,
Yeah.
ew.
Yeah, I've got. As a matter of fact, the Web of Spider-Man that I've been showing, and I still have more. Those bags are like that, which is why I don't do a whole lot of them.
And
Why I
this
didn't
is,
do them all.
and this is
That's
where we
that's
insert
the one
PSA.
time I will put gloves on before I start handling comics. Normally, I just wash my hands. I don't put gloves on because I like to feel the comic. I like to know. You can't unless you're using chemicals. There's no reason to put gloves on. Just wash your hands.
Okay, so I hate using the word dork question or nerd question, but I think I can ask this question safely in this environment and whatever. So when you get an old comic, do you guys like the smell of that old comic? I mean, as long as it's like not like wretched stink, but it's just where it's been aged and it's kind of got that like, you know what I'm. Do you? It's like it's kind of like the book
As
itself.
long as it doesn't burn my nose a little bit, yes.
Well, it's just that
The
Newsprint.
newsprint.
smell.
The newsprint. smell.
newsprint. It's the
Yeah.
newsprint. Newsprint does. When you do get into CGC or whatever, white, off-white, yellow page, newsprint does break down over time. So yeah, that mustiness.
Okay, yeah,
There's
that's
nothing like it.
there isn't. It's a good smell. I actually enjoy that. Like like
You should get an old pulp and open that sometime.
it's
If
like
you like the smell of an old comic, get a pulp from the 20s and
I was doing this one time to a comic book, and like my girlfriend, she's like, what are you doing? And it's like, I like the smell. She's like, okay, you know what? I met you at a con, and there are some things that roll out of your mouth that even I cannot subscribe to.
You knew what you were in for when we met. Right?
Oh goodness.
you take a new comic, you open it, you go, there's nothing. You smell the ink. And if you're not careful, you look at your hands and there's ink on your hands because it doesn't dry.
So clearly in
Ever.
the chat we have Patrick, Maria's laughing, love the pulp heroes, smell of nostalgia, I love pulp magazines,
All right.
pulpy mylar. Yeah, so people clearly know what we're talking about. I mean, or at least
And I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Thank
You're
you.
not, no. Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to tell her this tonight. I'm
I
sleeping on
think,
the couch, but
I
I'm going
think
to tell
they
her this.
won't be Mylar was in reference to I'm waiting for him to come out with his sleeves. And
Oh,
I said
yeah,
Mylar sleeves.
Okay,
But,
something different. Maybe he's gonna create
Lucite.
Lucite. Hey, Lucite.
Hey,
Why not?
acrylic lucite. That is what I have my promotional Elvis hologram card in.
Yeah,
It's in a 1-inch block of lucite.
Lucite's awesome. I've bought and sold paperweights that have stuff like floating in it. Lucite's awesome. You can really do some cool stuff with that. Yeah. So.
Oh goodness.
Well, I still look forward to the sleeves he's going to come out with, and I will definitely try them.
That's funny. Marie says working in a paper mill would turn you off of the smell of newer old paper. LOL.
I get that. I get that.
It's just constantly.
Yeah.
As an aside, the United States Postal Service, in their big distribution centers, adhere to the same policies for air cleanliness as paper mills.
Yeah.
And I have seen the dust that gathers from one day on their filters, and it is that thick. They rotate the filters around every day and end up with that much dust on their filters.
Yeah.
Shout out to Back Road Bitter Chuck. Thanks for coming over, sir. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, brother. Yeah, man.
And I worked for the post office for 9 years, and it didn't turn me off to the smell of an old comic book.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like back to like the scores at the flea market. It's always like I've told you guys, I will sight unseen, short box, don't care. Somebody going into their car, how much? And they're like, I don't care, and I'm like $20. And then it's that moment where you open the lid and yes, it is that smell. Like, is it smoke? Is it poop? Is it cat
Oh,
pee?
good.
Is it cat pee? Is it this smell? Is it weird chemical ink? It's just that kind of
If you have a smelly comic, how do you get rid of the smell? Try this. Get a container, a little plastic container that the comic will fit in, and sprinkle some baking soda on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And then have a little platform or something that you can set the comic on. Put it in there, seal it up, leave it for a week, and check it. If it smells still there, change the baking soda and try it again. And the worst I've ever had was a smoker, and the comic smelled like cigarettes. And it was bad. And it took about 3 months before that smell was gone, but it did go away.
But you go outside, Patrick. Yes,
but
do
you blow smoke on your comics?
No, not. Now I will tell you, so again, integrity, upfront, honest. Some of my collection is from the 90s that was hanging in my apartment that, I did smoke around. So those particular items, I do say, hey, they were in an apartment, in the 90s in a smoking house. So there was a superhero blanket I listed. And, I put in the whatever, clean per eBay's guideline. However, I do own a cat. Because let's face it, no matter how much you wash something, cat hair is not going to, you're not going to get, especially a big blanket, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So again, it's that upfront, and at least for me, it's like I feel like if I keep my side of the street clean, that's all I can be responsible for. So.
Yeah, I do, because you guys know I sell all kinds of things. If it's purses or even hats, baking soda, but I will... Sometimes I have to admit, just dryer sheets, but I will use not a Tide, a very basic, like a clean linen smell one, put it in a plastic bag and a couple sheets and just let it sit maybe for a week and then air it out, and it will kind of draw that smell out, and then you can kind of get that out. But sometimes it's just too far gone. I'll be honest. There's sometimes I'll give it a shot, and then if it's still like pew, it's got to go. I can't sell it. It is what it is.
What do I keep telling everybody? There you go, from the comic scientist. Let your comics breathe. Don't tape them too tight.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah, painter's tape. That's fun. The blue tape is definitely a kind of a joke on Mike's. I think that's cool. The ability to reapply that stuff, awesome.
Actually, for years I didn't use tape at all. I would just tuck, because when I was doing polybags, I just tucked the polybag behind the backing board.
Yeah, I don't use it too often. It just depends. Todd's like herb, not cigarettes. Yeah, bounce clean linen sheets. Yeah, they do work nicely. I think even with like a purse or something that's a little malleable, I put one inside and then one on the outside and let it kind of sit and hope for the best. It does kind of draw that out. Absolutely. Yeah, wash your hands. I've seen that too often. The worst is like the guy at the flea market who's like eating a hot dog And you're like, how much are these comics? Like, let me see. And I'm like, no.
No, don't.
Mustard dripping onto the comic.
He's like, "Arr," what do you think? And I'm just like, you're killing me, dude. Just
Hi,
no.
Perla.
Oh, Perla, hey.
Hi, Pearl. It's Precious. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Why, yes, hello there.
Yeah. It's funny when people have their stuff and you're like wanting to buy it, then you're almost coveting it more than they do in that moment. You're like, oh no.
Well, it's like the gentleman I was talking about Tuesday. It's like, no, don't get it down. I mean, and I felt so bad because like he dropped it and he like catch it and like you could tell like he wrinkled the blister and it's like, oh man, oh. But yeah, somebody's put it in my head that maybe I should go back up there and pick her up.
I wouldn't know who did that.
I don't know either. You're going to have to explain to that ex-girlfriend why I'm buying another Angela because...
Yeah, but she's an ex-girlfriend, so you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Right, but she just appear out of nowhere like, I thought I said no more Angelas. You told me I could.
It's not my fault. It's the other guy.
How many variants do you need, Patrick?
Right? Yeah, but this is the big one.
See?
Honey, it's larger.
That's what got me in trouble in the 90s.
It's larger. That's great. Or the best is like, hey, just want to let you know, those toys you had, I moved them. And you're like,
No. Okay, true story, right? So after we broke up, we still kind of like talk from time to time. We were out one time and she's like, do you know I used to move your figures from time to time just so you paid attention? You talk about like laser beams, just like the red ring just...
You're like Superman laser vision, like.
Oh. She's like, I would just do that to see if you would notice. I'm like, like, so you're the reason why I've got creases on my pegs.
I'd be going like, hey, honey, well, I hid one of your a couple of your high heeled shoes. They're just they're like elsewhere, so you just have one of those.
And I don't know about you gentlemen, but this happened to me with a different girl. She was over and she goes to pick up something. I'm like, no. Please don't. And then it became an argument. Like, oh, why?
Right,
and
right.
It's like,
what do you mean, no? Right? Yeah.
My wife used to take out what she would consider the hot comic covers.
Uh-huh.
And she'd have a box behind the counter, and that's where she would put these. This was her collection. And people would ask to see what's in it. Oh, don't you want to? I really want to buy this one. Can you sell it to me? Oh, but that's my collection.
That's great. Yeah.
And they'd end up paying twice as much for it.
Oh, yeah.
And then she'd go over and get another one, put it in the box.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when I've sold T-shirts, I've had people be like, because it's out of my personal collection. I'm like, so you mean used and washed a lot of times, Horizon? I'm like, well, yes. It's all relative. It's funny, but yeah, that's hilarious. Chaos. Like, yeah. Oh, but it's from this box over here. I think that's awesome.
Let's see how good my memory is. Ozone chamber, that's for dealing with molds and foxing, right? He'll answer in about 10 minutes.
Right.
StreamYard is terrible behind the live chat.
Yeah, it's about 10 to 11 seconds behind.
Yeah, usually about a 12-second lag, depending. Yeah. But... yeah, the stream looks good on your end tonight too, Chaos. It's I don't know if it was through Mike's kind of connection last night, but it looks nice and clear. Everybody looks decent. So
yeah, I think it has to do with who's hosting it as to how good it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to do something about this white here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably get a curtain, because if there's no way to, it's a white wall. So even if I don't
Yeah.
got the light pointed towards it, it still bounces off of that.
Right.
I mean, I could definitely dim it down.
It almost looks like a door.
Well, it is. It's actually a closet behind there,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
going to put like
No,
a.
I meant like a door to the outside, and that's sunshine coming in. That's what it looks like.
Don't go towards the light.
Stay out of it.
But I mean, we could. Because usually what I do is I'll just keep like one light on, and it's like you'll get Studio Murphy.
I don't know enough about Ozium to consider using it.
I'm going to refill if you gentlemen don't mind. I will be right after these messages. We'll be right back.
But really, he's just going to get some coffee.
That's why I put my YouTube lives on my phone so I could see the chat. Yeah, I do. I have it because I can't see how many are in the chat because I have it shut down. So I have my phone here just to see. But yeah,
Oh, I didn't even bring it up today. Usually, I have it on one of my other computers. I got to remember to turn the sound off on that computer. There we go.
That's interesting. Chuck says, I use Ozium for hard goods. Don't know about using it on comic books. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that like a process to?
Well, Ozium, I know they've got it in the automotive section in Walmart, but and they probably have it in some other spots too. But I've never experimented with it. Gives me something to think about.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey Chuck, I'd be interested, in that in terms of like what you do with that for hard goods, Chuck. That's interesting. We're certainly tonight's topic is, repair, restoration, but that's something that nobody knows everything. That's very interesting.
Removing the smell from a comic, as far as I'm concerned, is a type of repair.
Right.
But that's a non-invasive repair, and that's one that probably doesn't need to be listed on any kind of a stench removed from comic.
Yeah, right.
I don't think you really need to put that in there.
This really stunk, but now it doesn't. Buy it. It's gotta,
free from all skunk smells.
Yeah, right. It's like when I sell shoes, it is I hate to say it, it is the funk factor. I kind of will gauge that and be like, yeah, this is too far gone versus, yeah.
I use this sometimes too. This is a tablet. And that's another good way to keep track of the chat if you wanted to. And pick that up cheap now. They've got tablets for like $50.
Yeah, I have one. I barely use it. I use it when I travel, and it has Windows 10 and everything on it. I'm sitting over there. I barely use it.
And you're using your phone instead of that to get the chat.
Correct.
That doesn't make sense.
So accessible, it's right here. I basically just have just the chat open and just to see good old outside air. Yeah, that's true. I definitely do that on certain things. A lot of things I buy come out of basements. Yeah, damp and musty. Spray them with ozone and then let them air out. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know.
That would probably work for like toys or something like that, but not for comic books. But then Ozium also has this like little tub, and I'm thinking if you take and unscrew it and set it into like a plastic chamber or an ozone chamber, and then put the top on it, then that might work to absorb some of the odor. I don't know. I'm guessing at this point. I don't currently have any comics that stink real bad, so
depending on if I get, like, I've done it with Star Wars action figures or even some me go. If somebody smoked, I will take a light vinegar solution with a rag and just kind of give a once over, so you'll get all that tar, that yellow gunk off, and then it's also going to remove some of the smell and kind of get that back. It works quite nicely, but again, gentle.
White vinegar is one of my go-to cleaners.
Yeah.
I don't buy Windex. I don't buy most of the cleaners.
No.
Basically, I just use white vinegar and occasionally bleach for some things.
Yeah, white vinegar is great because it can remove it, and then when it dries, it almost has no smell or after odor. It kind of just goes.
The bad part about white vinegar is it's acidic.
Yeah.
So don't use it on your comics.
No.
Unrelated. So I went for a coffee, right? And on my way back, I'm down to less than a quarter cup. When I sat down, that's why I've got this look of confusion on my face. Like, I just filled this up. No.
Drank it on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're almost at the 11 o'clock. I don't know how late you guys want to go. We can.
I'm about ready to open it up and let other people join in if they like.
Sure.
And give their comments. Of course, we know who's going to jump on as soon as they can.
All right. And I'm more than happy to yield the fourth spot. I know you try to keep it a 4 panel, so.
Well, 4 or 5 is fine too.
Yeah, I mean it's so anybody in the chat, if you're interested in coming on and chatting with us kind of in person, you're welcome to. Chaos has thrown the link in there. You're welcome to jump on. Yeah.
I have to highlight this. Playing Halo with your son is much more important than this stream.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
so
no,
we
absolutely.
understand 100%.
Yeah. And that being said, the disclaimer, for those that are wishing to come on, please keep it PG. Okay.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean pretty good, although we would appreciate it if it was pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely like to, have people participate. If you want to come on and just use your voice, that's fine. You want to come on and with a full, with your video too, that's awesome.
Avatar.
Yes, we can. Yes.
I need to change that.
Yeah, you need to actually put an avatar figure.
I know.
Or just take a picture of your.
There you go. Look, I look like
take some pictures of your favorite Spawn toys.
There you go. Or Patrick, you got to come up with see how I kind of look, how I look.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
This is my normal. This is COVID. This is COVID me.
I got you.
I'm not. I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, I love it. You should keep it. You should. It's like, you know how much maintenance goes into this.
Right.
It's like, oh. Anyway, guy problems.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my barber opening up again so I can get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm way due. I'm due, but I'm like, the hat works. It's okay. It's like when you see me early, Patrick, on Johnny, it's just like, it's the hat. It's got to be the hat in the morning. But
there you go. Ozone will remove all organic smells.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, as we go along, guys, you dirty hippie, get your hair cut.
I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm working on it.
Damn kids, cut that hair.
I got mine cut about 6 months ago. So
right.
I think mine was November 2019.
Oh yeah, my God! All right, so I have a comic. I think I showed this to you, Patrick, but I don't think I showed it to Chaos, and I'll have to grab it. 1 second.
This was fun tonight. Thank you for having me.
I'm looking for something here. I'm going to find it any day now.
All right, so check this out. I got this. I did a break the other night. I was late. I was annoyed. So I'm like, oh, it'll cheer me up to do a comic break. But here, Chaos, put me up. I want to show you this. And I was like, this is really cool. And obviously we're talking about haircuts. And you know, we're he's looking for something here.
Yeah, I was getting a
Just wanted to show you this.
see if I can get you up there.
And this was interesting. So here we go. Uncle Magneto. There we go. Magneto and the Magnetic Men. Check that out. But it's by amalgam. Now, is that Marvel? How is that they get away with that?
It was a DC Marvel crossover where they
Get out.
melded the two characters together.
Get out.
Yeah,
Very
was
cool.
that was one of the big things in the 90s.
All right. I was like, because we always with your your due there, Chaos. We do call you. We refer you to as Magneto. And I got this, and I was like, get out! Look at that.
Yep.
So do you assume you have this?
I don't know if I still have it or not. I used to have all of the amalgam comics.
All right. Should I put it on your stack then, Mr. Chaos? Or?
No.
All right.
No, they're cheap.
All right.
If I decide to get them again, I'll probably get them for like 25 to 30 cents a piece.
Okay. I just thought, and the art's pretty awesome. Thought it was pretty cool. It's like, wow.
That is. That is.
Oh, and look at on the inside. Okay, guys, I know look at the what's on the inside cover. The awesome movie, but rest in peace, man. Awesome. I used to love those movies. So funny. But I got this out of a break. I was like, wow, look at that. So cool. Got
Now don't go to his channel right now. Wait until we're done here, then go to watch Immaculate Comics channel.
Go to what?
Oh, I put the Immaculate Comics.
Oh yeah.
But wait until the show's over, then go there.
Go there after. No,
After.
just playing.
Yeah, I watch all of his videos, even the ones that are for his students. I watch those too. I don't comment on those though.
That's really funny. Pearl is like, I need to remove my white hairs going since COVID. LOL. That's awesome. Yeah, COVID. Everybody. I used to call it the COVID mop. Man, I didn't get my hair cut for like 9 months.
That's actually a thing. A COVID hair.
COVID mop, I was calling it. It was just like beyond. And then I remember my hairstylist, she was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? It took her an hour and a half to just trim it down and get it right. And it was kind of nuts. Yeah, David Spade's funny. Absolutely. Joe Dirt. Yeah, great stuff. Tommy Boy, Black Sheep. Great stuff. They were awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if nobody's gonna jump in, and if you guys want to keep rolling, we could. Up to you, bud.
Oh, I'm good for as long as I need to be here. Why am I echoing? That's turned off, so I shouldn't be echoing unless I'm echoing through somebody else's.
Yeah, I only have
this guy. I'm echoing through this guy.
What did I do? Wait, what?
Every now and then when you get close, I echo.
Oh, okay. Wait, here. I'll go over here then. There we go.
And that's why I'm wearing these, so I get rid of the echo.
Right.
I go over here. You can hang. That's one with my comics. I go over here.
Nah, you're all right. It's okay.
No, I do. I did that so many times early on, and now when I go in, when I click a StreamYard link, I close everything out, and I kind of go in reverse because it 9 times, and you've seen it even last night. I mean, people that start to do this, they almost always have another YouTube open, and that's always going to create that echo. It just does. It's just part of the tech.
Yep.
So
that's why I make sure the sound is turned off, not on the YouTube, but on that computer.
Correct. Yep. Oh, there's Darth.
Looking for someone to jump in? Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on in.
We have been.
If you've got some things to say related to our topic.
Yeah,
for
we're
tonight.
talking restoration, repair, comics, toys. Yeah, Darth, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, because I know there's a lot of Godzilla toys out there that are
So I don't know
in
if
need
I
of
missed
love.
this. We have a question here, so I don't know if I missed the answer to my question earlier. Do you not need to use board with 4 mil lights? My lights. Sorry. That was the Ron Burgundy in me, just reading words.
I'm looking for that so I can.
Let's see here. It was.
It's right above Darth.
You
but here,
can use them. I don't with the My Light 4s. They're so thick that I don't always use them. I actually save a little room in my boxes for not using them because they're thick. I mean, well, I don't have any handy because I've already packed up those Wolverines to ship.
Where did the link go? Oh, you already got it.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Marie is saying, yeah, I think if you have your phone, I have my phone on silent, and then it's also I have my phone isn't on Wi-Fi or anything, so I don't think basically if you have another tab and you have you have the actual video, because of the lag, you're going to have this echo. It just doesn't play nice. So just close everything out.
I think also what she may be referring to is StreamYard on the phone is a different beast than StreamYard on the PC. Hey, Darth.
Yeah,
correct.
Hey,
that was my mic.
How's it going, everybody? Good to be here.
Brother?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
so what about Godzilla toys and the need for them to get some love once in a while? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Godzilla toys are actually pretty easy to take care of if you're buying the Japanese vinyls, because they're vinyl. All they need to do is be, they'll get dusty on the shelves. And if you're lazy like me and you don't always have time to do the feather dusting thing on all the shelves, all you do is fill your sink with warm soapy water, let them sit in there. Not too long, though, because they are vinyl. If the water's too warm, it'll make the vinyl very soft. And then just take them out, rinse them off, and let them dry. And if there's any water inside, you can just pop a leg off, take the water out, and put the leg back on.
Yeah, just pop this leg off and just dump the water.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, vinyl is the easiest thing to care for. It really is. Getting back to the whole restoration thing, the way CGC looks at it is when you do color alterations, you do, hey, Todd, yeah, you get to see my ugly face. There you go. But when you start doing heavy restoration, which is like color touch-ups, marrying pages or covers, as Chaos is so adept at. I mean, when he did the
I don't marry them. That was not a marriage. That was actually the original cover. It was just turned around backwards. Originally.
Okay.
So what I did was I ended up putting it back together and putting it back like it's supposed to be. But it is the original cover. Yeah,
I couldn't even tell. I couldn't even tell that there was anything wrong. That's how good you are, Chaos. That's why what I'm going to do is, we all know how Mike is. God bless his heart. I told him to send the Two-Fisted Tales directly to you.
Okay.
But if he ends up sending it to me, I'll just send it to you. If you think it's something you can't touch, then we can send it over to Immaculate and see what he'll charge for the repairs, because
mostly, I mean, if we're talking mold, that's out of my wheelhouse.
Okay.
But he knows how to do it.
Yeah, see, that.
And he likes working on old, nasty comic. The nastier, the better.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Well, Immaculate, so you get an idea, this is an original EC Comics Two-Fisted Tales, one of the early issues. And at the price I got it at, which was $10, I couldn't pass it up. Okay. And it looks like there's a 3 or 4 inch spine split at the bottom of the book, all the way up past the first staple or the bottom staple. And in that area, there looks like there is some mold as well, just very badly discolored. And I don't want that going throughout the whole book. I'm never going to sell this because it is an actual EC comic. I want that in my collection. I just want it to get to the point where I can at least read it and it's not going to fall apart in my hands. Okay. The kind of restoration that book needs, it will not. It won't get a good grade. I know this. Exactly. If they detect staples removed, colors, marriage of paper, anything like that, boom, automatically restored or conserved. Yeah.
Which is wrong, because if you're using the original staples that are going back in the original holes,
Yeah.
that's silly.
Hey, I don't know who made those rules for them. I don't. And where they came up with. And Chaos, you can attest to this, because back in our day collecting comics, Golden Age was from 1937, when the first Famous Funnies came out.
1938. It's always been
Oh,
Action Comics
1938.
number
Okay.
one.
I
Action
thought it was
Comics
Famous
number one.
Funnies.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected. I'm not always 100% right. So, but it starts 1938. It was 1950. Boom. Then the Silver Age started in 1952 with Showcase number 4, first appearance of the Barry Allen Flash. But now it's completely different, and CGC was calling the shots on that. The whole age, the era thing, and that confuses me. Who put them in charge?
What I remember is 1938 to the end of World War II.
Ah, okay.
That was the Golden Age. After that, you had post-Golden.
Okay.
You had, and after post-Golden, you had pre-code, and then from pre-code you go to pre-silver, and then you go to silver. So they had a lot of little tiny, but they didn't call them ages.
No,
it wasn't a post-Golden Age. It was just post-Golden comics, pre-silver comics.
Yeah, the biggies were always gold, silver, and bronze, and
there was no bronze. When I first started, there was no bronze.
Well, by the time the 90s hit, then the 70s and part of the 80s became bronze. I remember that because that's when I owned my comic store.
But like I said, if you just look at it in 14-year blocks, you're good.
Yeah. Okay.
You got 1938 to 1946. Or no, that's not enough. 1938 to 1952. That's Golden Age. Just consider that Golden Age and you'll be okay. You go from 1952 to 1968 as Silver Age, you're fine. You go from 1968 to 1982 for
bronze.
For bronze, and that covers it.
Yeah.
Anything after 1982 is modern.
Ah, so you don't believe in the copper.
I'm old. It's copper.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, it's modern because but then for me, anything after 1968 is modern because I bought it off the newsstand.
Yeah.
I always look at it's funny because I've been collecting long enough where it's like the copper, and then it's like the I always look at modern as like 90s to now. It's just kind of so that copper copper swath is in there, but that's a lot of the bulk of the stuff that I have.
A lot of people consider the copper age from 1984 to 1990. Well, that's only 6 years. That's not an age. That's an era.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying 1982. Take it from 1982 to 1996 as the copper age. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And from 1996 to 2000? Yeah. Or no, to 2010, the movie age. Let's call it the movie age because that's when all the movies started coming out.
Right.
I mean, we had them before, but that's when they really started coming.
Yeah. The reason I'm able to sit back on my couch now is my cat deemed me worthy to sit on it. She moved over, so.
Oh,
that was nice.
Yeah, she's not up here. She's sitting next to me now. One of our many cats, but I'm a little upset because something I ordered on Evil Bay, and I got to stop doing this. because it's always a crapshoot, and this is a good lesson for our. I love it. I love that.
It's awesome.
You
Let
can't
me.
have it.
I know,
You can't have it.
but this is for all you.
You can't have it.
I have all of Tower of Shadows now.
Cool. This is for all you resellers out there. Do not do what I'm about to explain to you. Never do this if you delve into comic books. Okay. Never, ever, 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 ever. I bought a set of Charlton books. There were 5 or 6 books. The guy had it, buy it now for $10.95 and was going to charge me $9.95 shipping. I figured, okay, priority mailer, Gemini, he's going to send them, it'll be good. The condition from the photos looked very good to fine, and some were even fine plus. Well, when I got them today, they were shipped in a manila envelope, no bags and boards, wrapped in newspaper, and the grade automatically went from VG to fine to good, to very good if I'm lucky. Got an issue of the Phantom here, Space 1999, Space Adventures, which reprints the first Captain Atom stories, and then Space War. These are all Bronze Age. They're all from the 80s. The Phantom I was going to keep. The others I was going to flip. And I figured I would have made maybe $3-4 on each book. Now I'm lucky if I'll make 2 or 3 on them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to address Jerry's comment here.
Yeah.
And if you're not following his channel, he has another good channel. He just did a series on leaf casting that was really good, and the comic turned out kind of nice so far.
Excuse me and my ignorance. What is leaf casting?
Go watch his channel.
Okay.
Basically, it's taking paper pulp and replacing missing parts of a comic paper.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But it is 100% reversible. Yeah, I'll bow to his knowledge on that because he does get a lot of comics graded, whereas I do not.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for all you resellers out there, never ship a book without a bag and board. Never ship. If you don't have one of these, which is a Gemini mailer, they are made to hold comic books. You can buy them anywhere. You can get them on Amazon if you have to, guys. The comics fit right there. These fold over. This folds over like that. Boom, you put the label here. Boom, in the mail. These things, they can handle whatever abuse USPS puts them through, and the comics are fine. Never ship in a manila envelope to your customer.
But
Always
if you're using those and you're only shipping one comic,
cardboard and
put a
bubble
piece
wrap.
of corrugated cardboard on either side.
Yes, and
No,
then
I don't do it that way, but okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, to protect the book even further, you can slip in one piece of bubble wrap in there between these folding over pieces and the other cardboard. I like to do that. And then these things fit easy
in the legal sized.
Yeah. And it's $8 to ship this, and your customer gets their books in 3 days, and you are guaranteed a positive review.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Okay.
No.
So
because I send stuff priority mail all the time, and they don't always get it in 3 days. Right, Horizon?
that is a bingo. That is not. Yeah, I could tell you from.
What was it? 2 weeks?
Yeah. So
That's true. I sent. I didn't mean to cut you off. I sent Chaoses off on Friday, and his still isn't coming till Friday, and it's shipped priority. Yet
It's,
you got yours today, Horizon. It drives me nuts.
your mileage may vary. That's basically the term.
Yeah.
But we're at about an almost at the 2 hour mark. I want to just show a couple books that I just got in. It's comic. We're on show a couple books that I got in. And then if you don't mind, Chaos, I'll do a shameless plug before I head out for what's going on.
Fine, because 2 hours is pretty much what I wanted to cut it off.
Sure. So I'll just show a couple books real quick that I just got in, and then I'll be out of here. But if you wouldn't mind, I'll show these real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. So yeah, guys. I pick up all kinds of comics, and these are just some ones that I picked up that came in the last couple of days. So I thought I'd show them. So here's one that I got. I like a lot of covers. So this was just a Wonder Woman on the Rebirth, and I just love the level of detail on that.
And that's going in my pile, right?
That is a beautiful cover.
So I'll tell you, this one can't or won't, Chaos, because I actually bought this through the Feebay, and I'll show you the book that I got, and you'll know why. So I got.
I was joking anyway. I think I have a copy.
And then along same Feebay seller, I went and picked up this one. So it's this Suicide Squad free comic number 1.
Oh, wow.
Just love, like, Harley Quinn is like gonna stab you. Thought that was really cool. So I picked that one up. Same seller on eBay. But the book that I bought from that seller, and I gotta, like, again, we're talking shipping, I'll always add on, but I had to go and get this one. So this was the book.
Oh, absolutely.
That I had to get when
you have to have that one.
Yeah, when I think it was Diecast or maybe yourself got this from the auction, so I had to go out and get it myself. So this is whatever the
I think I let Diecast get that one.
Yeah, the variant cover, Black Cat number 4, just awesome art. Love. I think, again, just the cool female covers are great. But then these other two I got
it's called Good Girl Art.
There you go. But these two I also got at the flea market. I buy in bulk. Got this one, this Venom book I thought was really cool. Has a little bit with the Venom movie coming out. Carnage, Venom 2. So pick that one up. And then I think Chaos, you'll like this one, the Black Canary number 1. Got that one as well.
I've got that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, this, again, just cool stuff. So yeah, just a couple books I'm getting, and I didn't even, Darth, I didn't even open your package. It's right behind me. But thanks for getting that out to me. I'm stoked to get that Hellboy. Awesome stuff.
Happy to do it.
Let's think about it this way: is it good girl art, or is it good girl art, or is it good girl art?
Well, I love this one just because of the art, but also the cat connection, and it's Black Cat, and it's Spider-Man, and it's a great artist. How many more reasons do you?
That's J. Campbell Scott, right? Or
J. Scott Campbell.
J. Scott, thank you. I apologize. I know where Chaos was going with the alliteration of the words there.
Oh, I knew you would pick that up.
But yeah, I mean,
words are your business. I mean,
yeah. So just some books that I get, and some folks in the chat know I pick up all kinds of things every week, and some of these may come up for auction, some may not. It's just part of what I do. But again, I have it. Y'all are available on Saturday night. I'm going to be on Tiffany's Cool Finds, selling all kinds of stuff. I know this guy may be available. It will be going at 9 p.m. I'll throw it right here in the chat. The link is there. We'll be starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. We will go for at least 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, maybe longer. Just depends what the crowd's like, how we're doing. And a lot of sellers selling on that night. But, if you guys saw my auctions, I do bring some quality stuff of all types of things. So check it out.
That's right. Make sure to check out my man Horizon pick this Friday or Saturday night at Tiffany Cool Finds, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. So
I definitely would be interested. I'd be going between you and Mike to see if Mike has anything I want for my personal collection, but I'm definitely interested.
definitely going to be some toys. I also kind of throw it out and take requests from folks. I've actually had people request something between rounds. I go get it and I show it and they buy it. So that's a pretty awesome, just like we do with comics, right? We say, hey, do you have da-da-da? And you find it. And then the immediacy of this is awesome. So
that reminds me. You said something about having a Red Godzilla. Can you get that and show me what you're talking about? Because if it's what I think it is, I'll trade you the V for Vendetta box set deluxe edition thing you wanted to buy off me. Just straight, I'll trade it straight away.
Yeah, I think what I have's a little bit more.
I can throw in cash too. It depends if it is. Okay.
I have a photo real quick. I did take a picture of it and I can show you. I just have to find it. It'll just take me 1 second here because I took a picture and I meant to send this to you, Darth. Oh, here you go. You can probably get enough from this picture right here.
Oh no. That's just one of the bootlegs. No, I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
That's a bootleg of Imperial's 1985 figure.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm cool. Yeah.
All righty. Yeah. No, I was happy to buy the Vendetta thing from you as is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I still have to send you an invoice.
We know where Horizon's going to be.
Yeah.
And Darth, where are you going to be over the next few days, over the next week?
Let's see. I am working my real job tomorrow.
Oh, we don't want to hear about that.
And then Saturday, seeing what Mike has. I don't really do much selling other than on Evil Bay. I sell my retro video games, Magic the Gathering cards, and anime on there, which has been very profitable for me.
Okay.
Then Wednesday nights, I'm on Mike's Comic Book Steals and Deals selling comics. If there was another comic auction avenue place that I could go to sell comics and people wanted me, I'm happy to be there.
I think that's a hint, Chaos.
Yeah,
I think that's a hint, Chaos.
I definitely got the feeling it might be a hint.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interest and it's in the works. It's just a matter of.
And who better than Uncle Magneto to host?
Well, and building the following base. I mean, it took Mike however long it took him to get 1,040 people, and on the auctions we're lucky if 35, maybe 40 max show up. Where like at affordable auctions, which are done every Thursday and Sunday, they get over 200 people.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
they all, yeah.
I think if we can get.
And Patrick just shows up on mine and Horizon channel, and any place else that you see him, you'll probably see him with his head down.
Oh, Patrick, that reminds me. Since you are the Super Spawn Master.
No.
Oh no! He's Super Spawn Master.
Let's take it down a peg here, Darth. Okay.
Honorable Super Spawn Master. Do you have a Cygor figure?
He's just really good.
Cygor.
Yes.
Is that one of the? Is that one of the mechanic?
Not the new ones. It's not the new ones. It was in the Spawn first run. It was one of the enemies Spawn fought. Then he got his own miniseries. It's basically a cyborg ape. Cyborg Kong.
Wasn't that was it out of Spawn or was it out of Wetworks?
I thought it was out of Spawn because it came in the Spawn line. And
yeah, but Wetworks came out of the Spawn line too, and so did some of the other stuff.
Yeah, but there's actual on the packaging that you'll have Spawn and then you'll have Wetworks and you have Youngblood and then you have I know exactly who you're talking about. Let's see.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
They redid the new one, but it's a big 12-inch, and you can tell it's made for kids. It's not fully posable. He's like the Kenner figures, you know, and I don't want that. I want the original Todd McFarlane 6-inch, so I can put it on the shelf next to my NECA King Kong and the Playmates King Kong.
Yeah, let's chit the chat afterwards, and I can't do it tonight because
No, that's cool.
but yeah, hit me up. I prefer to do that in private if you don't mind.
Oh, not a problem. I just wanted to make sure you had it. That's why I figured, you know, if you've got 10 different versions of Angela, you had to have a Cygor.
You're not getting any more Angelas. He told me.
Right. Right.
But it's a really big one.
It's a big
Oh,
one.
great! I haven't seen you in a
With
couple
polka dot
decades.
panties.
I'm telling you what, she's just gonna show up, and it's like, oh boy, and Mr. Chaos, then you can explain
There's
to
my
the new
violator
girlfriend
back
why
there.
the old girlfriend showed up. Okay, just
Because it was a really big Angela.
That's right.
Guys,
Okay,
kill me.
and of
Connections
course,
we have.
I'm on this channel. Drop videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm on Horizon Picks on Tuesday. Most of the time, I'll show up and try to auction a few things off with Mike on Comic Book Steals and Deals, and then of course, right here every Thursday night.
Yeah.
So, having said all of that, I think we're going to close this one down. Let me put out the little kitty cat here.
Good to see you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye, everyone. See you again soon.